not anywhere near, not anything that you can comprehend and imagine.
Pisanie straciłaś.
After a few seconds, I have noticed that there is more people in the room than just me and the doctor. There was my mom there and my father there, and I was like, for the first time ever, I have given them a hug, and I'm like, I can't believe whatever is going on. I think it's a dream. I don't know. After like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, a priest walked into the room. He was Polish. He comes up to me and he's like, I'm here for you, let's pray, let's do this. I'm like, can you go with me and see my daughter? And he's like, no. And the doctor looks at me and is like, yeah, here is the priest. I know he can do miracles. And I look at the priest and I'm like, if you can do miracles, wake up my daughter. My friend came into the room. I was still shaking and sitting in the room. I asked if I can use the phone. I had my best friend. He was 74 years old at the time. He had a prostate cancer. I knew he was, but he was like a grandpa to Zuzanka. I called him. His wife picked up the phone. And I'm like, can you get Jerry on the phone? She's like, he's sick, he isn't bad. I'm like, I need him right here because Zuzanka is dead. Like a half an hour later, he showed up. And he was right there with me, for me. I did not care about anything and anybody because he was like a father to me, and he showed up and he got up and he was there with me. Later on, I ended up at the Woodridge Police Department with police officers and everybody. They asked me a bunch of questions. They kept me there till like 1 a.m. The question that I asked them is, where is the father? They told me that he's in the next room because he was asked questions too. It was midnight. I asked the police officers to call his family. They somehow found their information and they sent a sheriff to their house. It was way past midnight, and told his cousin to come and grab him. So they grabbed him. After the testifying and everything, I ended up going to my parents' house because my house was all locked up and taped. Nobody would be able to go there. When I woke up in the morning on the mattress at my parents' house, I grabbed my phone, and being a hairdresser, I had hundreds and hundreds of contacts on my phone. I punched in a message in my phone. My husband stabbed my daughter in the heart and hung himself in my house. I need help. I sent that text message to everybody I had in my phone. I started getting text messages back. One after one after one after one. Are you serious? I'm like, yes. I was so devastated. I did not know what to think and what to do. I was not in my own house. I had to I called my friends, DJs. I called my friends that own flower shops. I called funeral homes. It was like a dream. It was 2 days of constant, like a hamster going back and forth. Not in my own house, not in my own life, not anywhere near, not anything that you can comprehend and imagine. I lost my house and lost my daughter and lost everything when I got that phone call. I had my friend put together pictures and videos and music of Zuzanka, and I wired it to the funeral home. I had people donating flowers. I had cards made and thank you cards and everything. My son opened the GoFundMe page the next day. The next morning, he took me by the hand and took me to DuPage County Health Department and told me, Mom, you have to go counseling. I had TV stations, I had bears, I had flowers, I had everything in front of my own house. It was like a dream that I couldn't break out of. 2 days later, I got a phone call from the funeral home that my daughter's body is in the funeral home. My friends flew in from Phoenix. Everyone was calling me, texting me, getting a hold of me. GoFundMe money, the page raised like $20,000. In 2 days, people started coming, giving me money, hugging me. It was unimaginary what was going on. I went to the funeral home and I walked into the room and I saw my daughter on the metal bed, laying there, just covered with blankets. I went up to my daughter. She was laying there in the room on the metal bed, just covered in blankets. Her hair was like this. I went up to her and I touched her and she was all cold. I lifted the blanket and everything, and she had a scar right here. And I started touching her all over. I started hugging her. She was so cold. I started rubbing her and kissing her, so she said, I'm not gonna be cold. I couldn't believe that she's right there and she's not smiling and not talking and not responding to me. It was the worst moment of my life. And in the meantime, I funeral home has called me that they have his body. When I heard that, I asked the guy if he can bring me the paperwork, because I don't want nothing to do with him. I'm like, I can sign the paperwork and you can just take him. I don't want to have anything to do with him, and I don't want to see him. That was the only thing that I've ever done that I signed off on something. I signed off on him like he was just a piece of shit. The guy came to my house and he gave me paperwork, and then had his first and last name on the paper, and I just signed the paper, and I said I don't want nothing to do with him. I organized a funeral and the wake and everything. I had bought a dress for my daughter. The funeral home staff put the dress on her and the shoes. But before the funeral, I went in and I did her ponytails. She always had ponytails. I brought her favorite lipstick. I put the lipstick on her. I polished her nails with her nail polishes. I did this because I knew that was the last time that I am ever gonna have with her. The priest in the church where I live did the funeral and everything. They didn't charge me any money. There was so many people in church that I've never seen that many people attend any event. When we left the church, we drove by my house, and believe it or not, but it was a sunny day. There was 2 rainbows over my house. There was so many people that police department from my village escorted everybody, and they closed all the streets for us going from church to the funeral home. And the funeral home, the line was out the door. I was standing there, not responsive and sad. Everybody came up to me and they gave me kisses and flowers. It was like the worst movie ever.